Hey YouTube, Zach Guy here. Today I've got a couple of case knives. They're both the same basic model, just a little bit different on the handle material. Now the first one, this is the 2151 or 21051. It was made in 1980. Can tell that because of your tang stamp there, being able to count the dots and where they're located at. That's 1980 tang stamp, and it's got a nickel silver bolster with nickel silver pins both sides, back lock, and see the model number right there. And it's showing that it's a LSSP, which is stainless steel, surgical stainless steel lockback. And then this one is the 61051, and it was made in 1977. And again, you can see the dot system there. And it's got a synthetic jig bone pattern lockback with some, if you look here, it's got some brass liners, nickel silver bolster with a lanyard hole, and the model number right there. And this is also surgical stainless steel. And this has brass pins also on both sides, along with the brass liners. And this has steel liners, stainless steel liners with the nickel silver bolster and nickel silver pins. And this is a black synthetic thermoplastic rubber is what they say the handle's made of. Now go over the specs on these two real quick. They're both the same, so we'll just do one. It's got a 3 5/8 inch blade. I'm sorry, that's a 2 5/8 inch blade. It's got a 3 5/8 inch handle with an overall length of 6 1/4 inches for both of them. And then we can go ahead and bring this in. And check the good old weight on them. The black knife is 2.3 ounces, and the jig bone is 2.2. So now I know this one was made in 1977, but I got it after I got this one. This was my first one I got. I carried it for a very long time in my rotation. I really don't carry it too much anymore, but back in the early 80s, I threw this in my pocket a lot when I just needed a small, or just needed a knife, didn't normally need a really large knife. I would carry this. I'd cut up apples, string, cordage, you name it, boxes, so on with it. Pulled staples, things you use your pocket knife for. This one I got, just thought it was really nice looking. I was at a knife shop somewhere remember seeing it in the case, thinking it was a newer knife, because it was, I was back here in the States, so it was in the early 90s when I got it, and it was just been sitting in a box somewhere. They put it out, and I saw it and bought it. A little bit of history on the knives is they were, this model, this is the second knife using this model number. In the early 1900s, they had a different model 51, but they discontinued that in the early 20s. And then in the late 70s, they brought this back out, or brought this knife out, and called it the Model 51. They were making the Model 51 from the late 70s up into the early 90s. So that's the closest I can find on it, on any information I can find. I don't think they were a really popular knife. I remember after I had gotten this knife, I'd had it for quite a while. There was a movie out where a family had gotten stranded on an island somewhere, modern day at that time. And this was the knife that the father carried, and he was using it to shave with. They used the knife for other things, but he also shaved with it. That's how I guess they got around in the story of him being clean shaven and not growing a beard. But I just thought it was kind of cool that I had that knife and I saw it in that particular movie. Don't remember the name of the movie. It was some movie that I saw in the late 80s, early 90s, about a castaway family somewhere. It wasn't as good as the Swiss Family Robinson, I'll tell you that. But like I said, use this handy little knife. Doesn't take up a whole lot of space in the pocket. Holds an edge pretty well. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And remember, always be prepared.